Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We're going to get started. I am Joanne Cropper. I work in the training department and the QI department. We also have Linda, who is the Director of Community Supports, and we have Radina, who is Director of QA, and we also have Daya with us, who is a DSP and mentor. And today we have a presentation by Heidi, and she will introduce herself a little more and tell us about her role. We're going to talk to you about the vaccine today, which we think is important. So we just want to give you information about that and cover some questions that you may have. We are recording this session, so if you do not want to appear in the recording, you can turn your video off. You can put all your questions in chat, but there will be time for you to ask questions at the end of the session. So if you want to put them into chat, that is fine. And then if you want to hold questions until the end, that would be great. And I'll just turn it over to Heidi. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Heidi Galvez. I'm a public health educator at Lincoln Hospital in New York City. And my job here is to educate patients about how they can stay healthy if they have any underlying health issue and they are taking any medication. I'm the person that they speak with along with the doctors. So right now I'm working in the women's health department. So basically now I'm working with women that are pregnant, women that come to GYN, for regular annual checkup. Also, I have patients that are teenagers from pediatrics that also come to me, for example, if they have diabetes, heart issues, they have any other health issue, they come to me. I help them to stay healthy. I also help them with medication when they don't know how to take their medication, so they come and talk to me. So today I'm gonna be talking about the vaccine of COVID-19. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about COVID-19. I know that many of you have heard already about how to prevent the disease, how to stay healthy. Okay, but I'm going to speak a little bit about it. Okay, as we know, COVID-19 is a new disease. Okay, it's a new virus. Okay, it's one of the viruses from the family of coronavirus. Okay, coronavirus is not new. It's not a new virus. Okay, in the past we have other diseases that they are related to coronavirus. Okay, but with COVID-19, this is a new strain of the virus. Okay, it's called SARS-2. Okay, it comes from the SARS family. It's a type of virus that attack especially your lungs. Okay, so it's an airborne virus. That's how you get it. Okay, how we prevent COVID-19, or how we can prevent to get how we can prevent coronavirus. Okay, with COVID-19. They have done many research about how to prevent it. So one of the best way to prevent it is by wearing a mask, okay? Covering your nose and your mouth all the time, okay? Something that I would like to talk about the mask is like, for example, we see a lot of people, I'm gonna use my mask, that they only cover their mouth and they leave their nose out, okay? You're supposed to wear your mask, cover your nose and your mouth, okay? If you are wearing one of these masks, here it has a little wire, okay? So basically you adjust it to your nose, okay? Always cover your nose and mouth if you are outside, okay? If you are next to other people that are not part of your household. Stay away at least 6 feet, okay, from other people, okay, that are not from your household. If somebody in your household is sick, okay, please, you need to put that person in one room, okay, where there is a lot of ventilation, okay, and you need to stay away. And if you live, for example, I live here in New York City, so here we have a lot of apartments. So it's really hard for people that live in New York City to have like a place that they can use for anyone in the household that is feeling sick, okay? Also avoid crowds. That's one of the most important. Lately, people are having family reunion, especially during the holidays, And that's why now we see that the cases of COVID-19 are going up, okay? We are right now, we are worse than we were in March or April. Especially, for example, now we see in California what's going on. Basically, the health system there right now is collapsing. They don't have basically spaces in the hospital for people that are coming sick, not only with COVID-19, but people that are having heart attack, people that are having asthma attack, people that have other health issues. They are not able to go to the hospital because basically the hospital in California are overcrowded with patients with COVID-19. And also washing your hands for at least 20 seconds. If you don't have water and soap, use hand sanitizer, okay? Who are the people that are most affected by COVID-19? Everyone, okay? Everybody is at risk of dying from COVID-19. But who is at most risk? Senior citizens, people that are 62 and older, people that have underlying health issues, okay? For example, if you have diabetes, if you have asthma, if you have heart disease, if you have any kidney disease, any underlying health issue that you have put you at risk of dying from COVID-19. Before, like remember, we need to take into consideration that this is a new disease for many of us, okay? There has been many research since 2019. When we first heard about COVID-19 in China, in Wuhan, specialists, they went there. They were doing researches. They were, even the pharmacies, like those big pharmacy corporations, they started doing research about this disease, okay? I know that some people say, oh, COVID-19 is so new. And for example, about the vaccine, they say, oh, there have been enough research about the vaccine. We didn't start with the COVID-19 vaccine like 3 or 4 months ago. Since the COVID-19 appeared in 2019, they started working on the vaccine. They started working on treatment for COVID, okay? I know that there is a lot of misinformation, especially online, about COVID and about the vaccine. But please go to those reliable websites where you can go and gather information. For example, you can go to the CDC website, okay? They are basically the one here in the US that they have the most reliable information about COVID-19. Okay, so I'm gonna talk now about the vaccine, okay? The vaccine of COVID-19 vaccine, basically, they said that it was approved. I can say like almost like 6 to 8 weeks ago. It was approved by the FDA. The FDA is the federal agency that is in charge of approving medication here in the US. Before they approve this vaccine, they did many research, okay? Also, the pharmaceutical companies that are developing all these vaccines, they also did their own research, okay? And also they did a lot of trials. Don't think that they didn't do any trials. Before the COVID-19 vaccine was approved by the FDA, they did the trial on more than 30,000 people across the US only. And they were people from different ethnic background, for example, like white, Black, Latinos, Asian, okay? Also people with different ages, elderly, young people, adults, no children yet. Well, they are doing now in children, but not like children, that now they are doing it in teenagers, but not that like infants, toddler or kids that are in between the age of 5 to 11. They haven't done that yet, okay? But they are doing it for teenagers now. For example, Pfizer is one of the pharmaceutical that developed one of the COVID-19 vaccine. They did a trial on teenagers up to 16, up to the age of 16. And soon they're gonna approve it also for teenagers to get the vaccine. Right now, people that are eligible for the vaccine, if all healthcare workers are eligible for the vaccines, if you are 65 and older, you are eligible for the vaccine. If you're a teacher, if you work in a daycare center, if you work in a nursing home, if you are a first responder, like for example, police officers, firefighters, EMT workers, are the ones that are eligible to get the vaccine right now. They started first with healthcare workers. Why? Because we are the ones that are working here in the hospital with the people that are sick with COVID-19, okay? They started first with healthcare workers that work in the ER department or in the intensive care units when they have COVID-19 patients. Then, for example, like front desk in the hospital, they were the next one. Even people that they that are, for example, the people that the custodian, police, hospital, police officer. That's how we call it here in the hospital. They start with those people, and then they say, okay, the rest of the healthcare workers in the hospital, they're gonna get the vaccine. Myself, I got the vaccine, the first dose. I got it almost 2 weeks ago. And I can tell you that I was a little bit like nervous when they said, okay, now you can get the vaccine. And I also did my own research. I read a lot before I got the vaccine, but let me tell you something. Now that I got the first dose, I'm glad that I got it, okay? And I'm just waiting for next month for me to get my second and last dose, okay? COVID-19 vaccine, you get 2 doses, okay? If you are getting Pfizer vaccine, you get the first dose, and then within 2 or 3 weeks after you get the first dose, then you get the second one. After you get the second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, then your body is gonna be basically immune to the disease between 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, but that doesn't mean that you're not gonna take all the precautions, that you're not gonna wear the mask, that you're not gonna, keep social distancing, that you're not gonna wash your hands. Still, you need to keep practicing all those things. For the Moderna, that's another approved COVID-19 vaccine. You get the first dose, and then 3 to 4 weeks after you get the first dose, you get the second one. With the Moderna vaccine, you have to wait basically 4 weeks to be immune to the virus. I know that there are many questions about how did they develop this vaccine, okay? As I said before, coronavirus is not a new virus. It's a virus that they have been studying for many, many years, more than 30 years. The only thing with the COVID-19, this is the new basically strain of the virus, okay? It's called SARS-2, okay? With this disease is new. Yes, it's new. But since they have a lot of data, from when they were doing the research since 30 years ago. So basically they were able to gather all the information, and that's how they come with this new vaccine. The vaccine use messenger RNA, okay? That is part of the DNA. It's not the DNA, it's part of the DNA. I know that a lot of people, though, when they hear this, they say, okay, if the vaccine has a messenger RNA, then that means that it can change my DNA. No, it's impossible. Why is impossible? I don't know if you have seen how the DNA looks, okay? But basically the DNA have two strains, okay? The RNA only has one, okay? So basically, if the DNA has two and the RNA has only one, there is no way that the RNA can attach to the DNA, okay? So it won't change your DNA. Why they use messenger RNA to develop this vaccine? Because they wanted to create a protein that once your body basically create that protein, you will have immunity to the virus. Okay, I don't know how much do you know about the composition of the virus that caused COVID-19, but the virus has spikes. Okay, those spikes, they have a protein, and those proteins are the one that attach to your cells. Okay, once we attach to your cells, that's how we can cause the disease. Okay, you might have respiratory problems, your lungs can collapse, you can have problems with your kidneys, because COVID-19 can affect basically your whole body from top to head, can affect you. Okay, so when all these pharmaceutical companies, when they develop this vaccine, they say like, listen, we cannot basically take the virus and put it and give it to the people. Like for example, like the flu vaccine. With the flu vaccine, basically it's the inactive virus is in the vaccine. You get it, and basically your body is gonna create immunity, because your body is gonna say like, what is this? Is gonna create cells, okay, that are gonna attack the virus, and your body is gonna be immune to the flu. With COVID-19, since it's a new disease, okay, they were saying like, there is no way that if we put the virus into the people, that they will create immunity. So why don't we create a protein, okay, that the same protein that the virus has, why don't we create it? So once we put that in the vaccine and the people get the vaccine, basically their own body is going to start creating immunity to this disease. So that's what they did. So for example, I got the vaccine already. I got the first dose. When I got the first dose, they put messenger RNA in me. That messenger RNA has the protein that the coronavirus has to, so you, when you get COVID-19. So when they put the messenger RNA, okay, my own body was like, hold on, I have this protein that is new to me. So let me go and attack it. When my cells, the cells in my body, when I attack the protein that I was injecting in me, basically my own body start creating an immune response to the protein that I have. Okay, and then that's why, for example, people, once you get the vaccine, you have to wait a couple of weeks in order for you to create immunity to the vaccine. Because little by little, my body is going to start creating this immunity, and that protein that was injected in the vaccine is going to be basically destroyed by my own immune system, and that's how I'm going to create immunity to the vaccine. With COVID-19 vaccine, you need to get 2 doses, okay? As I said before, depend on what brand you are getting. If you are getting Pfizer, you need to get the second dose 2 weeks or 3 after you get the first dose. With Moderna, you need to wait 4 weeks, okay? There are other companies that are developing more vaccines, okay? The FDA is doing more research, okay, about those vaccines. And once, for example, AstraZeneca is one of the company that is creating the vaccine. Johnson & Johnson also is creating another vaccine. Once we have all those vaccines, then the FDA is gonna say, okay, it's gonna be approved. And then according to their trial, they're gonna say, okay, you have to wait, like once you get the first dose, you have to wait maybe 3, 4, 5 weeks in order for you to get a second dose, okay? Before the FDA approve this vaccine, they made a lot of research about it, okay? There were specialists that they were studying this vaccine, and that's why it was approved, okay? It is safe. That is something that I can tell you, that the vaccine is safe. Why? Because the FDA is not going to approve something that is going to do more harm than benefit to us, okay? And remember, all medication, they have side effects, okay? If you have side effects, that doesn't mean that that medication is doing any harm to you, unless you develop like severe side effects, okay? When we talk about the COVID-19 vaccine, yes, you are going to have some side effects, okay? For example, one of the most common side effects with people that are getting the COVID-19, and remember, now, yes, a lot of people are getting the vaccine, but remember, when they're doing the trial here in the US, more than 30,000 people, they were already getting these vaccines, okay? And what did they find out? That most of those people, I'm talking about the 30,000 people that got the vaccine, they were getting, like, for example, pain in the side of the vaccine. The vaccine is given here in the upper arm, okay? It's only given here in the upper arm. So they were getting pain in the upper arm, maybe a little bit of swollenness in the upper arm. They were also getting like body ache. They were also developing chills. Some of them, they developed fever, okay? But most of the time they were saying that when they got the side effect, it was like for less than 24 hours. And usually they said that after like, maybe like 24 hours after they got the vaccine, that's when they were getting all these side effects. There were people also that they were getting allergy reaction to the vaccine. Okay. If you are a person that you had an allergy reaction to a vaccine before, talk to your healthcare provider before you get the vaccine. For example, if you're a person that you use EpiPen, you need to talk to your healthcare provider to see if you are eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine. If you had the flu vaccine before and you have an allergy reaction to the flu vaccine, then also you need to talk to your doctor. Not everybody is eligible for the COVID-19, and not everybody is going to react the same, okay? Even though we all are human beings, we don't react the same to any medication. And this is a medication, okay? So before you take the vaccine, you need to consult with your healthcare provider, to see if it's good for you. If you have diabetes, if you have heart disease, if you have any kidney problem, let's say that you are on dialysis, you need to talk to your doctor before you think about getting the COVID-19. Even though you are at higher risk of developing complications from COVID-19, doesn't mean that you are eligible or you qualify for the vaccine, okay? Because we don't know what can happen to you since you have that underlying health issue. If you are 65 and older and you don't have any health issue, I will tell you that think about it, just go and get the vaccine. I have seen many patients here because here in the hospital, we started giving the vaccine to the community since Monday. And I have seen a lot of like grandpas, grandmas that are coming here to the hospital and they're getting the vaccine. And when you ask them, like, what is the reason why you're getting the vaccine? They don't even say like, oh, because I don't want to die. No, they say like, you know why? Because I would like to be with my family. There was a grandpa that he was saying that I haven't seen my family since we started this pandemic. I haven't hugged my grandkids since the pandemic. Okay, so think about that. Think about what protection you get for yourself and also for your family members. What else? Okay, and remember, if I'm here in New York City, we have many sites that they are that are giving out the vaccines. And remember that not is right now the vaccine is not for everyone. It's only if you are 65 and older, if you are a first responder, if you work in a school system or daycare center, if you work in a nursing home, if you, like for example, the type of workers that we have here, like Joanne, Deja, Linda, if you are those type of workers, also yes, because you see people all the time that have underlying health issues, that's the type of job that you have. Also, home health aid, they also can get the vaccine. And then after we basically vaccinate all those people, then they're gonna roll out the next group. Right now, every state is getting only 300,000 vaccines per week. Okay, if we think about it, that's not enough. So that's why you have to meet certain criteria to get the vaccine, because we are only getting 300,000 vaccines per week. Let's say when the other companies, when they come with their vaccines, and we're gonna have more vaccines that are manufactured, and maybe we're gonna have more vaccines per week for the population here in New York State and also across the country, because I know that every state is getting 300,000 vaccines per week. Okay, so once you have the vaccine, let's say that you decide to have the vaccine, you went to the site when they are giving the vaccine, and you got it. They're going to ask you many questions before they give you the vaccine. Okay, and also they're gonna give you a brief explanation of all the things that you might feel after you get the vaccine. The first thing that they're gonna tell you is they're gonna ask you if you have any underlying health issues. They're gonna ask you if you have any allergy reaction to previous vaccines. They're gonna check your blood pressure, okay? And then they will give you the vaccine. After they give you the vaccine, they're gonna tell you, you have to wait for at least 15 minutes before you go home, before we discharge you. Why they are doing this? Because when they were doing the trials, and also when they started giving the COVID-19 vaccine to healthcare providers, they found out that there were many people that they were getting bad reactions to the vaccine, okay? That doesn't mean if you didn't have any bad reaction to any vaccine before, or you haven't had any reaction to anything before, it doesn't mean that you're gonna get it now, okay? They found out that most of those people that they got bad reaction to the vaccine, they had previously an allergy reaction to something, to food or to medication. Okay, so they're going to ask you, like, if you had a reaction before, then you're gonna sit and wait, and they're gonna be checking on you all the time. They're gonna take your blood pressure like 5 to 10 minutes after you get the vaccine to make sure that that you're fine. They're going to ask you questions about, do you feel like itchiness in your throat? Do you feel that it's getting really hard for you to breathe? Do you feel like your body is itchy? Do you feel like any hives? Do you feel like headache? They're gonna ask you a couple of questions, okay? And then if you say, no, I don't feel anything, then they're gonna discharge you. Before they discharge you, they're gonna tell you, if you have a smartphone, to scan a QR code, okay? Once you get that paper and you scan it, that paper is gonna go into the system that they have, okay? Because that's how they're gonna track how many vaccines they are giving, okay? And how many people are developing bad reaction. Also, they're gonna give you this piece of paper. It's called Be Safe. It's from the CDC, okay? So this had a barcode that you can scan it on your cell phone, okay? You're gonna register here. Why they are doing this. Okay, remember what I said? This is a new illness. This is the new disease. Oh, sorry. Oh my God, let go from my monitor. Excuse me. Okay, I'm sorry, but I'm using one of the portable computers here in the hospital. Okay, so once they want to track any side effects of the vaccine. This, if you want, you don't have to give like your real name, okay, for this. If you are like kind of skeptical of providing your personal information, it doesn't have to be your real name. You can put a fake name if you want. But then they're gonna send you, and then you have to give them like your telephone number. Why they're doing this? Because every day for the next 30 days after you get the first dose, they're gonna send you every day, they're gonna send you a text message, and they're gonna be asking you, how do you feel today? Do you feel good? Do you feel like sick? Excuse me. Do you feel any bad side effects? For example, they're gonna ask you, do you feel pain in the area of the vaccine where they give you the vaccine? Do you feel, do you have fever today? Did you have diarrhea? They're gonna ask you many, many, many questions, okay? Because they want to track, they want to gather as much information they can from everyone, okay? Because remember, this is a new illness, okay? And even though they have been doing many research, they still need, to gather more information from the population this time. So this is a good tool that they developed. I sign up for this, and every day, like around 7 p.m., I get my text message, and they ask me like, how do you feel today? And I basically, I feel it's like a type of survey that they are doing. So it's really, really, really helpful. Okay, don't feel scared to go if you don't feel like 100% sure if you want to get this vaccine. Do your research. You can do your own research. Go to the CDC. Okay, that website is, oh my God, it has very good information. I remember when I went to college, I remember that most of my classes, my professors, they used to say, if you are doing a paperwork about any illness, about any treatment for any disease, go to the CDC. That's where you get like really good information, reliable information, okay? And please don't listen to everything that you hear on social media. I have watch videos of people talking about the vaccine, talking about COVID. Even when we were in the peak of the pandemic, I remember watching videos of people that they were saying ways that you can cure COVID-19. There is no cure for COVID-19, okay? There is now, thank God, that there is a vaccine. But let me tell you something, there are still a lot of people that are dying from COVID-19. Some people, they have survived, yes. Other, they didn't make it. And still, we see people that are losing their life because of COVID. And if we now have this vaccine, why don't we take advantage of that? So think about it, do your research, talk to your providers, talk to your doctors. If you don't believe the CDC, if you don't believe the FDA, if you don't believe what you see on the news, when you hear doctors talking about the vaccine, you don't believe them, talk to your primary doctor, talk to your doctors. They're basically like part of your family because you go and you see them all the time. So talk to them, ask them questions like, do you think that the vaccine will be good for me? Do you think that even though I have this and this, that I'm gonna be good getting the vaccine? And also think about the benefits of getting the vaccine. Okay, of course you're gonna have side effects, but think about the benefits of getting the vaccine. If not everybody, because I know, for example, even with the flu vaccine, not everybody get their flu vaccine every year. But if most of the people here in the US, if most of them get the vaccine, I'm pretty sure that maybe by next year, we're gonna live all this COVID-19 in the past. Okay, I'm 100% sure if most of the people in the US get the vaccine, we're going to develop immunity. So the less people the more people have immunity, the less people are going to suffer from the disease, from COVID. And COVID-19 is not a game. It's not a game. I'm gonna tell you something. As a healthcare worker, I have seen the effect of COVID-19 and they are devastated, okay? I have seen how doctors have suffered from even depression of seeing people dying from COVID-19. I have seen nurses, I have seen other healthcare workers, how depressed, how devastated, how stressed they are because of this COVID-19. It's not the same to work, for example, in the ER and every night seeing like 5 or 10 people that are coming for emergency, like gunshots, stabs, accident. It's not the same when you see like the whole day, you see thousands and thousands of people dying in the country because of COVID. And even here, for example, in the hospital that I work, so far, thank you, Lord, so far, there have been 10,000 patients that has been discharged from the hospital and they survive COVID. But what about the others that die here? We have a lot of patients that are dying. Today, every day here, we have meetings and they just said that last night, 3 people died from COVID-19 here in the hospital. So it's not a joke. People are losing their life. So think about that. Think about how healthy you want to be. If you have family members, how healthy you want your family member, to be. You don't want nobody to get COVID because of you, okay? And you want also to be healthy for your loved ones, also for your coworkers. I got the vaccine. Why? I see patients every day. I thought about, what about if I don't get the vaccine, what are those patients they can have COVID and they might not have symptoms. They can be asymptomatic. What about if they give it to me? I'm still young. I don't have any underlying issues. I might survive. But what happens if I go to my dad, that he's 67? What happens if I go to my grandma's house, that she's 80? So those are the things that we have to think about it, okay? So that's it. If you have any question, just let me know. I'm here for you guys.
Thank you so much, Haiti. That was excellent information. While Haiti was talking, I was just putting some statistics and information in the chat if you want to take a look. I'm going to talk a little bit about, just to clarify, direct support professionals who do have direct in-person contact are eligible for the vaccine and have been eligible in some cases since late December. So the important thing to know about these phases is the sooner you can get an appointment, the better, because as the phases continue to roll out, it might be more challenging for you to sign up for an appointment because more groups will be added. So if you are somebody who's ready to get the vaccine, I'm going to share my screen in a bit and show you the resources we have to help you to get an appointment as soon as possible. Here at CFS, we are highly encouraging staff to get the vaccine. We are following the science. As Haiti mentioned, it is super important to follow good information, factual information, and not listen to rumors or information that might not be reliable. In addition, we are taking a survey. I did put the link to the survey also in the chat in case you haven't had a chance to take it. And so far we have had 71 responses to the survey, and this is from staff in our organization. We have over 1,000 employees, so that's really not a good high number of people responding, but we're going to continue to push this out because we do want to keep hearing from staff about how they're feeling, what your issues are, so that we can continue to, have trainings and information and keep having these conversations. But so far we have, out of the people that are interested in getting the vaccine, 40, I'm sorry, let me just close this here. I'm just looking at the stats. Okay, we have 59% are interested in getting the vaccine, and 28% are not, and 9% are unsure. So we'd like to keep working on educating staff who are under the no or unsure category, so that we can dispel any myths that might be out there. And a good percentage are looking to get the vaccine as soon as possible. Haiti did cover some of the concerns, such as a big concern was about the side effects. She did talk about the side effects, the fear about getting COVID, which as was reported, it does not contain the live virus, although your body is responding as if you might, it's attacking something. So you might feel some of those side effects, which have been reportedly very minimal a majority of the time. That a few people did indicate that they did not believe that COVID was a serious threat, which is absolutely not true, as Haiti highlighted. As people providing direct support to individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Some of you work in group settings with people who are immunocompromised. Some of you work with multiple individuals who live in the community. So again, you as Haiti highlighted, you want to protect yourself and others. Concerns about the cost. There is no cost at this time to get the vaccine in both New York and New Jersey. And there were some other concerns about long-term effects, about the time of the study. Haiti did talk about the fact that this has been researched for many years, and the science was behind the development of the vaccine, and the FDA did approve it following a very rigorous process. And starting with our frontline healthcare workers, they would certainly not do that if there was any major concerns to the vaccine. I did put in the chat, there was some questions about the difference between the vaccines. So I did put a link in the chat about that. So we are trying to continue, we're developing a frequently asked questions, which we will post to our website, and we'll get the information from CDC and other legitimate sources. So if you continue to have questions, let us know so we can continue to update that frequently asked question. So I am going to share my screen, if you just bear with me. I want to just share. Okay.
Linda, can I say something that I forgot to mention?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay, I know that a lot of people that are saying that this disease is not that serious. If we think about this are the numbers so far. So right now here in the US, we have more than 23 million people that have been diagnosed with COVID-19, okay? And out of those 23 million, 385,000 people have died. So think about that. That is more than 250,000. Okay, so yes, it is very serious. And it's not only thinking about if you die or survive, because you can survive COVID-19, but what about if you have like long side effects of COVID? For example, I have listened to the doctors when they say, oh, we had a patient that after COVID, that person have now heart disease issues. They have been patients that they were on the ventilator and they survived, but after that they developed like kidney health problems. And also there are people I have seen also here that they have spoke about it, and also I have seen it on the news. There was this lady, I don't remember which state here in the country, and she needed to a lung transplant. Both of her lungs were severe damage because of the COVID-19. So she had a transplant of both of her lungs. So yes, think about that. is not something, this disease doesn't play. It's not something that we can say, this is just, I don't know, the government, they just came out with this new thing and it's not true. Or maybe, this disease is like the flu. No, it's not. Okay. Yes, flu can kill people, but this is worse than that. Okay. Because the long side effects of COVID-19, they can last for the rest of your life. Because if you have health issues, it's going to stay with you for the rest of your life. The same thing with your kidneys. And think about if you get a transplant of your lung. I don't know if you remember this Broadway actor that he died from COVID. And basically they have to amputate one of his leg. So because he developed complications with he was developing like clot all over his body, and they have to amputate one of his leg. So yes, you can develop many health conditions because of COVID. So it's not a game, guys. It's not a game, and this is so serious.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to, I think when you mentioned about the side effects, I did put in the chat, there have been 6 million. So again, outside of the trials to date, since the vaccine was released to the public, and there have been 6 million that have had the vaccine, 6 million people that have the vaccine in their arm in some shape or form. And there's 23 million people as of yesterday, 23 million doses that are on their way to people. So it is really important. I think, again, as Haiti mentioned, it's going to help you from getting the vaccine. It's going to help to build the protection. It's an extra layer, and it's an important tool for us to help stop the pandemic. The more people that get vaccinated, the better. And we take vaccines already. So we've seen the effects and impact of vaccinations over hundreds of years of science and research. So we are at CFS, obviously we're not health experts, but we want to make sure you understand that we are highly encouraging people to get the vaccine. We've lost 10 individuals who we support to COVID. We see that, the impact of this, and we are anxious and eager to put this pandemic behind us so we can get back to the more important work. So I want to go forth and show you. So this is the web page that we put together. So if you go to cfsny.org and you click on news, there's a new page called COVID vaccine. And here you can find all of the links. We're putting links because information is ever changing, and we want you to have the most current information accessible. So if I'm going to just start, if you are in New York City, I know we have New York City, we have Long Island, Westchester, New Jersey. So each area you might click on a different link. I'm just going to quickly show you as an example the New York City process. If you click on the eligibility page or vaccine locations, we even have the links in Spanish. It will take you to this COVID vaccine eligibility page. I want to just pause and highlight, especially for New York State, there are 2 groups that you fit into phase 1. For those of you who are working in our residential facilities, it's a very clear answer to the question that you are a staff supporting people in group living facilities. So when you are answering the eligibility questions, that's what you're going to answer. If you support people that live at home, you're going to be answering it's a different group. Hold on, it's outpatient. Here it is. So you would fit under the all outpatient, ambulatory, frontline, high risk healthcare workers of any age who provide direct in-person patient care. Again, it's for direct in-person. So if you're currently providing telehealth, that wouldn't qualify you for this phase. So you would be attesting to these 2 groups. In some cases, you will need to bring with you verification of your employment. It does say on the website that you can bring a pay stub or a photo, an employer ID, but we can also issue you an individual letter. So if you contact HR, you can contact Amanda Williams, awilliams@cfsny.org. She can issue you an employment verification letter. And as Haiti talked about, there are other people that are in the future group. So this is helpful for you for family members. You know, it's excellent for you to get vaccinated, but people that you're in contact with, you want to really approach this as a group as well, to have the best and highest protection. So this is an example of, for folks that are in New York City, how you can easily schedule an appointment. Now, what you do need to know is that there are a lot more people than there are vaccines available at the moment. So if you go onto this website and you click the link and it doesn't show any available appointments, you need to keep trying. I've heard people that have just spent you know, a couple days trying, or have woke up in the middle of the night and tried. So you want to just keep trying. Every day there are more and more sites added. So you want to just click on the links, figure out what's best for you geographically, and go ahead. In some cases, you can schedule right away. This is a private and public partnership. So you'll see public locations such as the Department of Health is setting up shop in high schools where they have big auditoriums and they have multiple appointments available. In some urgent care settings, you can get an appointment. So you want to keep trying and do what's best. If you're not seeing appointments available, I had looked in Nassau County last week and I didn't see any available. And then I checked again yesterday and I noticed there was going to be a big location in Jones Beach set up. So again, every day there's adding more sites. The Nassau County page is here. New York State is here. New Jersey is here as well. So the links are right here. You can go right to this page. As Haiti talked about, we have links directly to CDC, directly to FDA. We have the Pfizer and the Moderna fact sheet. We have COVID information in plain language. We will continue to add some helpful videos here as well. So you want to get information that's reliable, that is trustworthy, so you can go there. We did send out a newsletter yesterday. What we have to help this initiative, we will be raffling off a $100 gift card each week. So if you have had your vaccine or are scheduled, if you send the vaccine information, that Vax card that you get, if you send that to HR, and there was a typo, so the email is HRVACS, HRVAC stats, so HRVAC STATS@cfsny.org, then you will be entered into that raffle, and we'll pick one winner per week. It will be anonymous. We'll let you know that you won, and if you'd like to share that information in an upcoming newsletter, that's fine, but that is totally not required. You also, if you did if you want to be published in the newsletter and you take a vaccine, well, we'd love to get that from you as well. So we have the newsletter. We want you to know if you're, as Haiti mentioned, if you are getting the vaccine, you still need to follow that protocol of wearing your face covering anytime you're providing in-person support, of maintaining social distance when possible, and not congregating in large settings, and washing your hands regularly. So those 4 things are still going to be essential, even if you're getting the vaccine. As more and more people will be vaccinated, I agree, Haiti, we hope that as of next year, we can have this behind us, but we need this to be a collective effort. I think, I don't know that we had any, Joanne, did you see any questions in the chat?
Sorry, somebody asked about the survey. I know you put that in chat if you scroll up in the survey, but Linda, the survey is also on the page, correct?
The link to the survey, it's not on the page. We are just keeping some information just in email because the website is available to the public. So the link to the survey is in the newsletter. Okay. That was emailed yesterday, and it's also in the in the
Can you mute yourself, please?
Okay, and that's, again, that's helpful as we can see. In New York, our state funder, OPWDD, does require us to report who gets the vaccine, not names, but how many people. So in residential programs, we will be asking staff in our community-based programs, and in New Jersey, Of course, we want to know that, but we're not obligated to report that to the funder.
Okay, and then there was another question about, do you have to, and Hayley, maybe you know this, I think I did see it somewhere today, that do you have to schedule yourself for the second
Yes.
vaccine? Yeah, so
When
Okay.
you get, when you get the first vaccine, at that moment, they're going to say to you, like on the card, it's going to say, you know, if you are getting the Pfizer, it's 21 days. If you're getting Moderna, 28 days. They're going to give you the date for that. You can sit in the waiting room, go on the website and schedule that second appointment. It's very easy to do, very important to do. And then after that second vaccine, you might see additional, you know, side effects. But again, very, very reasonable side effects have been reported with the number of people that have had the vaccine.
somebody says they're ready to take it.
That's
which is
excellent.
Great. If you
Yeah.
work in the city, can you schedule there?
So what if you want to schedule, so let's just take New York State, because I would approach this. So if you want to schedule in New York State, I would follow the link on right here where it says New York State vaccine site and click here to schedule. My understanding is it doesn't matter where you live if you're within New York State. Donna, was there something about if you're in New Jersey but you work in New York State or vice versa? Do you remember where that landed? Is she still on?
I'm not sure.
Oh, I'm sorry, Linda, what did you say?
Do you remember the answer if somebody is living in New Jersey or working in New Jersey and living in New York, the cross-state issue? Was there an answer for that?
I can answer that.
Okay.
Okay, take it, Radina. Take it away.
If you work in New Jersey, study in New Jersey, or live in New Jersey, you can get the vaccine in New Jersey.
Okay.
But
So
also, if you live in New York and work in New, I don't know if you already said that part of it, though. If you live in New York and you work in New Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
you can get it, right, okay.
Okay.
okay, and a lot of these websites have a lot of the information to your questions. So I think it's important that you, you know, you read through the information and get yourself informed. I was surprised, not really surprised, because I think it's consistent with the general public, but there's a lot of misinformation, as Hayley mentioned. And I think we want to dispel those myths. And if you're open to having conversation, any one of us is available, you know, to talk you through. You know, you saw in our newsletter yesterday, our chief operating officer, Barbara Greenwald, got the vaccine. You know, I think many of us are really anxious and ready to get the vaccine as soon as we are eligible. So, you know, we really are encouraging this. We really want you to have the facts, and we'll continue to, if there are questions we can't answer here, or we'll continue to look at the survey results. You know, we'll try to host routine meetings to have these kind of conversations.
It's recommended to continually check your CFS email. That's where we're sending it out to. So make sure you're logging into that.
Yes, if you work in the city, you can schedule there. Yeah, and actually, I've been, if you live like in Long Island or Westchester, I've been noticing it's might be a little bit more difficult. You really have to keep checking. In New York City, there's so many more sites opening. So I would definitely, if you work in the city, click on the nyc.gov link that I showed you up here, and you can go ahead and schedule the appointment right through this website. And it's going to ask you to put in the zip code. So maybe you put in the location of near where you work. I'm just going to throw in a zip code here to show you. And you see here how it has schedule appointment. So again, these are some of the Department of Health sites. Hillcrest High School, schedule an appointment required. There are other ones that are for private. So here's a community health center, call for an appointment. So you know, the call for appointments, you know, again, look how many options you have just in this one area in Queens that are geographically close. So right. If you strike out with one, keep trying with the other.
And I think the Advantage Healthcare one, the Advantage Care Positions there, Linda, I believe when you go there, it gives you a survey and you can say that you are, you know, you can click that you work with OPW and so, or DDD, I guess, in New Jersey, and then it will take you to you get fast track to get the vaccine.
Well, so that's the important thing that I highlighted here. So you know which group, and this is New York specific. I'm not sure the language in New Jersey, but for New York, if you work in one of our residential facilities, there's a very clear answer to that question, that you work in an OPWDD congregate facility. If
Yep.
you are providing home care, ComHab, respite, day hab, you fit into the group that says outpatient settings. So a lot of times people get stuck with that. It's across the board, the same questions you're going to be asked. And for some of these private ones like Advantage Care, you will need to bring, I would definitely bring proof. If you're going to sign up for one of the nyc.health ones, typically they don't require proof. You're just doing that attestation when you're answering those survey questions. There's no cost. You're going to just they're going to ask you for your health insurance information, but there's no cost to you as an individual. All right, it's 1:33. Did we have any other questions?
There are none in chat. If anyone wants to ask a question, you feel free to do so.
Yeah, and you can email any one of us if you have questions or if you want more information. You know, we are thinking about doing these more often, you know, so that we can help. Okay, oh, there's a question. Is it safe for someone to get a second dose after? Yeah, they do recommend that if you've had a serious allergic reaction to the first shot, that you wouldn't get the second dose, but you need to talk to your medical provider about that. It depends on the reaction that you got. Some, just as Haiti mentioned, you will be monitored. So if you do have allergies to, in general, food allergies or something, that's not a bar from getting the vaccine, but you want to let them know so they can closely monitor you. Any particular concerns, definitely talk to your primary care physician so that you can get the best advice from somebody, like Katie said, that you trust. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. And of course, thank you for everything you do every day. We appreciate it.
And thank you, Haiti, for your expertise.
Thank you for the invitation. Okay, stay safe, everybody.
Okay, thank you. Take care.
I guess Linda wasn't sticking around. Miss Diana Collins, are you still there? I don't want to kick you out. I kick people out. She's probably on a call.
So oh.